before she comes home, so when she calls, we'll know.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know, man.
Okay.
So I'm getting it started. I guess I'm not going to play the Star Trek music.
It don't matter to me, dude. That's cool.
I think we're live now. I'm going to open up the stuff on my tab. So, hello everybody. This is Kyle. This is your boy Vulcan Wolverine, aka this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka Vulcan Wolverine 2. This is Cory. I'll probably introduce you again because people aren't in chat yet. But Cory, his channel is The Needs of the Many Outweigh the Needs of the Few.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely go and check out that channel. I'm gonna check my I'm gonna check the video so to see if we're both in the screen, because I don't want it to switch back and forth. I want to both be on there.
All right.
But yeah, we're live, man. I hope it's not. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that fixed. Wait, say something, man.
Something.
But yeah, we're live, man. Okay, so it switched back to you. Let me see. I want to get it so we're both on the screen.
Yeah, that's on your end though. I can see you.
Oh, there we go. I think that worked. I think we got it. I think it's gallery view. Yeah, got it. Okay, we're good.
I am hearing like you talking on your end though.
Oh, that's I'm opening my tab because I have the video opened up in my tab so I can see how it looks to everybody else.
Okay.
So you may have been hearing that. That's probably what you're hearing, but I think I got it worked out so we're both on the screen now. Because I have the video opened up. Yeah. See, you're hearing that, right?
Right. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's my tab. That's my tablet. Just in case I can't get the chat on the screen, I'll like go to my tablet, you know, where the where everybody's chatting in there. But welcome anybody who's coming in chat. And me and Cory, we were just gonna hang out on Saturday night and just talk about our targeting, kind of just talk about everything, you know, just talk about whatever's going on. So
basically gonna be kind of like our phone conversations we have.
Yeah. But I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate you finally.
I'm glad you're having me, man.
Yeah.
I've been kind of MIA from YouTube for a little bit because been busy, but I'm always ready. I mean, I have my group of people that that constantly send me messages and wanting to know different things, and I kind of stay busy just answering them and not really doing as many videos. But when I do my videos, it's usually something that's like really heavy on my heart that I think that people are going to benefit from, or something that's happened that that I think other people might experience, and what I did to deal with it. Kind of like me and you, we go back and forth, and we compare, war stories.
That's kind of how I work it too. It's like I don't know, like I'm not every day like, oh, I got to make a video, but when I'm really, really inspired and I'm like, oh, this is a really important thing. Like I found that channel, Transhumania or whatever. Did you watch that video I did on that? And it's like a channel on YouTube. It's check it out. Check it out. Tell me what you think, because learning about this stuff like artificial telepathy and things like that, Elon Musk Neuralace and those new technological advances and what it's going to do to society, where signals can go to the head, but it seems to present it in this very positive light. Doesn't say anything about the negative things and how many people are being tortured by this stuff.
They're going to have to spin it like that to the public, to where it's going to be, this is great for you. It's going to help your cognitive skills. It's going to help you, energy at work. It's going to help you be more social. They're going to say, we're going to be able, like when you're walking down the street, you're going to be able to look at someone that's going to show you their name, in your eye or something. There won't be any such thing as a language barrier anymore. If they're speaking Spanish, it automatically translates it in your head. I mean, they're going to have all this wonderful stuff. We'll be able to control your thyroid, where you won't be fat anymore. I mean, it's just gonna keep going and going and going and going. There's not gonna be any addiction anymore. There's not gonna be any crime. It's almost gonna be like Minority Report, the movie, the pre-crime thing. Which,
but who's going to have control of all that, right?
exactly.
Who's going to have the back door? If the upper pyramid already has back doors to our computers, our iPhones, our TVs, our smart TVs, they have cameras in there, then you're going to put a thing on like Neuralace, or we, as targeted individuals, we have a lot of other crap that was non-consensually put into us. Who has the back doors for those new consumer products and new medical products?
Well, and as far as the judicial system, who's going to say, oh, well, this man was thinking about going and robbing a bank, and so we're convicting him of that because he was actually planning on doing it? I mean,
that's what I worry about us, man. That's what I worry about us. It's like people are saying like, oh, targeted individuals are crazy, but then they're going to start to realize that it's happening, right? My concern is that they're going to go, oh, well, these people are going to commit crimes. That's why they're doing it to them.
Society's got to the point to where everybody's going crazy. We need this to reform. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. We were talking about it earlier before we came on the live stream. The mass shootings, it gets everybody scared, right? And they're like, oh, well, that's the people that they're doing the surveillance to. That's the people that they're targeting. But it's the other way around. They're targeting those people, then they're going out and doing mass shootings, and so they're causing it.
Well, there was a doctor, I can't remember the name. He was back in the I think it was the 50s or 60s, and if you've noticed, they've always done studies on the mentally ill. They've always went into like mental hospitals, and they've studied psychopaths, sociopaths. They've studied these people's minds, and they were able to realize that there's like what they call the I think it's called the psychopath gene or something that can be switched on. They can switch it on in certain people. Like
there was a guy talking about the God gene, that there's a gene inside of people that makes them more inclined to believe in God, in a deity. And there was this presentation. I wish I could find it. Maybe
I watched it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I put it on my Facebook. It's on my Facebook channel. I got no response from it. One guy was in the back of the room. He's like, "So are you saying we could use this for like Islamics that are, they're bent on doing this and this, and we can switch that gene off?" And he's like, "Absolutely, we can do it over the air. We can release a virus."
Right. And he was saying because those are extreme beliefs, and we want people to not have those, in my eyes and your eyes, and people who know that God is an objective fact, we need that gene. Like we need that gene. To turn that off is to like make people into automatons, like kind of strapped down to the world where we don't have the connection to God. That's a dangerous
That's where your conscience comes from, is the Holy Spirit and God. It's your conscience. It's that voice that tells you yes and no, right and wrong. That's not right. Don't do that. Forgive that person. Or, the goodness is inherent in everybody. Everybody has a goodness in them, and they're trying to turn it all off, and just like we were talking about the pineal gland earlier, about how they're coating it with fluoride.
Yeah.
That was the first thing they started doing.
I've got something called, what's it called? Doc of Detox Pineal. And it's supposed to get fluoride and calcium off of the pineal gland. It's kind of helping, I think. So we can use like heavy metal detoxes and things like that to kind of detox the fluoride, but nobody should be drinking tap water.
You know where it started, right?
That. Yeah.
They found it in Auschwitz in Germany, and it was to make the Jewish concentration camp people more docile, is what they claimed it was doing. But it wasn't. It was coating their pineal gland where they couldn't have a connection with God. That's basically a pineal gland's like the antenna to the spiritual world.
Yeah.
And it does coat it. They say it coats it in like it calcifies it to the point where it's almost hard. They did it. They did a study on a dog.
In chat real quick, and let them know if they have questions for you to put them in the chat. Hey, Native, and hey, Euphoric Dreamer. Hey, Future Knowledge. I hope you're doing okay, Future Knowledge. I haven't seen you around much, man. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Autumn. So me and Cory are just going to be kind of hanging out. We may look up some stuff. we talk on the phone a lot, and we have really good conversations. So we were just going to talk about kind of everything, his targeting, my targeting,
Right.
kind of what's going on in society.
Expand the mind where we're thinking about a whole lot of things to where they can't
Yeah.
single it out,
Yeah. See, let's talk about that, because I'm a little bit like that. I don't think I have. You have like you think in a different way, but we're kind of similar that way. Like when I think about stuff, it's like boom, 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 I'm thinking of this and that. Tell people how that helps you. Tell people how, like, how
Okay.
when you see
Well, they
something.
like to put you on a one-track mind to where everything else around you is closed off. They like blinders. They want you to have blinders, like say a mule. If a mule, a mule has blinders, he can only see what's in front of him. So they want to cut out everything around you. They want to isolate you. They want you not to be able to think about other things at once. I have suffered from ADD since I've been born. Like I've had it severely. So when I look at something, uh, let's just say I look at a piece of paper. When a person looks at a piece of paper, they're like, okay, that's a piece of paper. When I look at a piece of paper, I look at a piece of paper and say, hey, that piece of paper comes in college rule, it comes in regular. You could write a story on that. You could draw pictures on it. I wonder where it's made. I wonder where the trees came from. I wonder what factory it's made in. I wonder if it was made in America. All this comes into my head at one time. So when they first started targeting me, they tried slowing down my, I guess you could call it my cognitive thinking, to where they were slowing down my words. They were slowing down my speech. They were telling me, they kept telling me, oh, everybody around you is annoyed by the way you talk or the way you act, because they were trying to make me be on a one-track mind, which that to me, the different, I look at it as you're making different, um, they think they call it neurons that wire together, fire together. So
Yeah.
if I have one neuron going here and I don't have any branches off, there's no more neurons firing going other ways in my synapses. So my synapses is just going everywhere
If
in all
it's
different ways.
focused stream of neurons, then your attackers can target that a lot easier. If you're thinking about this, you're paying attention to that, you're paying attention to that. It's like your attackers are getting a much unclear signal back.
Right.
They can't just look at one thing. Yeah.
It's almost like
I
having
still
three
do
or four
that. Like
movies playing at once. Yeah, or 4 or 5 songs going at one time and focusing on one of the songs. It's hard for them. That's like when if my attacks start getting really bad, I like to turn the TV on, turn the music on, and read a book at the same time. I like to really make it really hard for them. They're like, okay, we can't do this if you're going to be doing all these things at once. And have a conversation, maybe talk on the phone, watch TV, or whatever. I mean, there's so many things I can do, and I mean that's one of the things that's helped me. Also, another thing that I realized is what you believe is what's going to happen to you. So if you know without a doubt that there is such a thing as mind control, and by satanic ritual abuse, if it really works, then you're going to believe that works. If you go online and you look up torture, you're going to find out that torture is very, very, very unreliable. There's nothing that comes from torture that they've been able to use. It's all a big scam. So I've let them know, you can torture me all you want. It's not going to do anything, So the way I do it is, if they're hurting me, they say they're making my chest hurt or they're making my arm hurt, and I'm like, well, I guess if someone has cancer in their lungs, they must be mind controlled. Or, I guess if somebody broke their leg, they must be mind controlled. Or, if someone falls down and skins their knee, hey, I guess it must be mind controlled. And I do that to them all the time. I'm like, this isn't going to work for me, because people go through pain. You learn from pain, that's just how it is. And
there's also coincidences in life too. So it's like, I mean, they do certain things, but it's like, I feel like when, this gets complicated, but I feel like saying like my attackers cannot control me completely, it makes it so. It makes it harder for my attackers to like do that, to control my mind completely, because your mind is so powerful. Whatever you say is going to happen is probably going to happen. But I also say things like, I'm like, oh, my attackers can really control my emotions. They can really do this, and it kind of feeds into that. Even though they can already do that, no matter what I say, it makes it a little bit stronger. My mind is already going that way,
Right. Faith is an amazing thing. Like I realized a long time ago, they love to take advantage of circumstances. Like if they had no idea something was going to happen. Let's say you get into a car wreck. Well, once you're in that, as soon as the car wreck occurs, they're going to be like, yeah, see, we meant that to happen. We planned on that happening. That was us that did that. We're the reason you had that car wreck. And so I automatically know I'm going to wake up in the morning. The birds are going to be singing. The flowers are going to be blooming. The sun's going to be out. I know
everything's going to go right.
Everything's going to go perfect. And they always say, something bad's fixing to happen, right? Something's fixing to happen. I'm like, yes, absolutely, something's fixing to happen. Something good's fixing to happen.
It's so important. And I understand, like, sometimes targeting things, just bad things do happen. But the power of belief, the resonance of belief. We were talking about that before we came on. Like if this is all about resonance. What was that Bible verse you were talking about? And it was kind
of 2 Peter, about how the here, I'll read it again. It's about how they would use clever.
But basically my bottom line is there is a frequency to belief. And our attackers get us at this low frequency, this low resonance, where it's hard to believe. You've got really negative thoughts and really negative feelings. So it's like we've got to fight back and resist with the frequency of belief, the frequency of faith. And the only way that we can do that is through God. Like, because everything looks so bad. Everything is so hard, like in the material world, and everything looks really bad, in our society. We've got to believe and hope in like miracles, and really believe that some things can get done, even in this horror show, which is America, and then other countries, where
I did a video on that about basically being in a storm in a boat. And I was thinking, I was talking about, you might be in the storm. They might be, might be hitting you with all these things. Your sails are ripped off. Your boat's taking on water. But you don't realize there's one little tiny thing that's saving your life through the whole thing. And the one little tiny thing is directing you to the shore. And it's the rudder. The rudder of the ship, 1/100th of the size of the ship. It's the little thing. It's the faith that's pushing you to the shore. The whole
ship. You're looking at everything else, like if you're looking at everything that's broken and everything, you miss that rudder.
You miss the rudder.
Yeah.
And it's so important to steer that boat, and you never hear about the rudder getting torn off a ship. You never hear about nothing like that. The rudder is always there, and it's the smallest part on a ship, but it steers the whole big ship. And so when everything you go through in life, all these trials, all these tribulations, think about that. You have a little rudder in the water. There's always something that's going to help steer you in the right direction. And that's always God. He's got a hold of your rudder. You gotta have faith. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And yes, they can make you feel so bad. They can give you feelings of dread, of remorse, of just horrible things to make you feel like the end is about to happen. But the whole time you just got to think, no, I'm going to beat you. When this is over, this is going to be so great. See, I seen a thing the other day on Facebook. There was a mule that had fell down into a well, and they couldn't figure out how to get the mule out of the well. So they started throwing dirt into the well. They were just going to go ahead and just bury the mule in the well. Well, what the mule did is he started standing on top of the dirt until finally the dirt was so high he could just walk out of the well. The same thing's happening with us. We're in that well, and they just keep throwing crap in on us, and dirt and everything else, and all we're doing is we're just stepping on top of all that trash until we get to the top and get out.
Like what is it? The frog, like the frog in the milk, like we're frogs drowning in milk, but like you would churn it up into butter, and then we can eventually get out of the pan, And it's weird because like even some of these really, really dark things, it's like, if you keep believing in God and you keep following and connecting with God, like even some of these really horrible things, you get in connection with things that good things that would have never happened without this. So it's very ironic. Like this whole thing is super ironic. I think it's going to make good people like cling to miracles even more. You're going to see like all this awful stuff that's so bad that we just can't eat. It's so bizarre and it's just so evil. We're going to see that backlash from the good side,
The darkest places, you see the light so much clearer, when it's so much darker and so much that even just a little bit of hope when it shines through, it feels so good to
Yeah.
see it
Yeah.
and to feel it and like, oh, there it is. You know, I knew it. I knew it was coming, and it
I
always
was,
does.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
The
man.
end of your rope is always when God comes to help you the most. He
Hmm.
knows exactly what you can handle. And a lot of times there's pieces of that puzzle you might not realize that all this is a puzzle. There's pieces he's giving you, and what you might have to go through this week, it might help you next year. But you'll
Yeah.
be like, hey, I went through this last year, and I made it through it. This ain't gonna work this time, because
Hmm.
they seem to do a lot of that. They seem to do a lot of that. I like a merry-go-round almost, or a clock.
Like
It's like,
prepping you, it's like planting a seed, and then later on that something really bad happens from that seed that they planted. But
mm-hmm,
like God does that in ways like throughout our whole lives that's much more magnificent than our attackers could do. Like you were saying, like I had Crohn's disease when I was little, and I had
mm-hmm,
to learn like how to take medicine all the time. I had to learn how to say, well, I'm in pain right now, but it's not going to be this bad forever. I had to
mm-hmm,
learn how to really trust. And it's like that. I've seen those things like in my lifetime, me
mm-hmm.
using that while I'm being targeted. And
Right.
it's like God had already planned it. He had already been getting me ready to go through this, you know?
Yeah. See, my family met in church, right? It's kind of hard to explain, but my mom's brother is married to my dad's sister.
Hmm.
So there's two people from this family married two people from this family. So I have double first cousins. I'll see this cousin on this side of the family and see this cousin on this side of the family. It'll be like you had a sister and I married her and you married my sister. It'd be the same thing. But a lot of families grew up in church like that. So when I was in church, when I was dedicated, there was like a message in tongues, which doesn't happen when a baby's dedicated. Usually it's a happy time. And it was, and the interpretation was that this he will be a great person in the end times to help lead people. And
Hmm.
it talks about in the Bible that there would be a great revival, a great awakening. And this is the type of thing that's going to have to happen. I mean, what more would bring people to God than things like this? I mean, just going through the trials and the things we're going through now. I mean, could you imagine how many people have turned their life over to God that never would have because this is happening to them? I
Yeah,
mean,
because I mean,
he's building
it's
an
easy to
army,
say.
and
Yeah.
we're on our. It's not an army. Like I said, our weapon is a melody. Our weapon is a prayer. We're on our knees.
That's what I was talking about. You said our weapon is a melody, and that's really ironic because we're dealing with a frequency war,
Mm-hmm.
because like my attackers, like they do a bunch of stuff, but one thing is to really attack the mind is to get a low resonance.
Mm-hmm.
Like keep on doing an extremely low frequency so that my thoughts are brought down low, depressed, anxious, and things like that. So we fight with the melody is really awesome because it's like God, when we're hooked up to God, it can raise those resonances. The targeting has less of an effect. It may not, I think it can make it completely go away. Like with practical defenses and God, I think that we'll eventually get there. But even
Mm-hmm.
if it's not going 100% away, it's like raising your frequencies with your connection to God is like fighting off that extremely low frequency stuff that's bringing your thoughts down to a negative level, like
Right.
organically bringing your thoughts down to a negative level, you know?
Yeah. Another thing I've noticed is like when they when they do like when they're announcing something they're doing, usually that doesn't have anything to do with what they're really trying. It's always something that they don't mention. You know what I mean? Like for example,
Yeah,
let's say,
sleight of hand. Look over
huh?
here, look over
Yeah,
here, look over
yeah.
here.
It's smoke and
They're
mirrors.
telling
It's
you
like,
this
yeah,
stuff.
don't look what this hand's doing. Look at what
Yeah,
this hand's doing. And it seems
yeah,
like they do that a lot. And I've learned to be like, all right, what am I missing here? What are they not?
yeah.
What are they? What is
I try
happening?
not I try not to even think about it anymore. I'm just like I'm going to do my defenses. I'm going to attenuate it as much as I can. I don't care what little games they're playing or what they have planned. And it seems to diffuse and neutralize anything that they have coming up because I'm not involved mentally in it. I'm not
Right.
thinking, oh, well, they're going to maybe do this or do that, and then they can work off of that, like hyper game theory. If it's
Mm-hmm.
just totally neutralized, I don't care what y'all are doing. Whatever y'all are doing now is annoying, but I'm not going to react to y'all. I'm going to take action, get defenses, do positive things and take those actions instead of reacting to them. It's not always perfect, you know. You
Well,
can't always not react to them, but
the best thing to do is, you know, if you've noticed, the thing they want people is to be isolated. They want them alone. They want them in their house. They want their curtains drawn, their blinds shut. They want them in the dark. They want them in, you know, they want them there by themselves. I mean, if you have to, go to an AA meeting, even if you're not, you know, even if you're not alcoholic, go to AA meetings.
just get out of the house.
Yeah, go to church. I mean, there's AA meetings every night. One of my friends, he goes to AA meetings just
Cory,
to get out and talk.
Tabitha asked a good question. You want to answer this question?
Sure.
Do any of you guys have electrical things going haywire in your house?
Absolutely. All right. For instance, all right. So when I'm at my house, I have a 1 gig connection on my internet, right? So I have really fast internet. When I go to my mother-in-law's house, she has a 50 meg stream at her house. They'll make it to where my Wi-Fi won't connect at all there. I mean, it won't even work. I mean, I have to use my AT&T wireless at her house. Of course, she has internet. It works fine. Another thing they'll do is sometimes I'll be typing, and they'll, like, you know, when you push a button, the letter will stay stuck up. The letter will just stay stuck there. Or I'll get into my car, and all of my channels will be changed on my radio station, because I drive a Chevrolet, so I have OnStar. So they can go right in through my OnStar. They've changed my stuff to French. They put it on metric. They made my tire pressure sensors be the wrong, showing the wrong, what do you call it, PSI in the tires, make it look like I had a flat tire, and I'd go check it with a gauge. I mean, electrical stuff in my house is always like, I can say, you know, like on my lights, I can say, "Hey Siri," and turn off my light, or turn it blue, or whatever. I can do all that, and they'll do that to the stuff too. So yes.
So they can take, like, Siri or Alexa, they can turn the light blue. They can like take control of that. Like my attackers, I could pull out. They broke this electronic cigarette. They seem to want to show me that they can break my electronic cigarettes through the refrigerator. So they shoot through the refrigerator, and they hit the top of it. It'll get really hot, and then it just stops working. And then I've got all those batteries. I had these rechargeable batteries that I use for Dave Case's CD. All of them are broken. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 10 sets of 2 batteries. They're all broken. None of them work anymore. I might do a video on that.
Did I send you the video for Rocky? My friend Rocky, he was looking at his phone, and it was like swelling up. So he took the case off, you know, he had his protective case off, and he was like, it was like swelling. So he's like, he works at a cell phone company. So he started he popped the case off. As soon as he popped the case, it just flames shot out of it. And he jumped back. Flames. Yes, they made the lithium-ion battery blow up.
I can see that, because they can heat it up really bad. And if the pressure was released at a certain,
once it hit that air, once he popped the case, and it hit, and oxygen hit it, there it went.
Dude, that's so much evidence. He needs to bring that to the police and say, "Look, I'm being targeted."
He had the video. There was cameras running, you know, where he was working inside his thing, and it has it on video.
If we had anybody listening to us, that would be awesome evidence. Like, if we had anybody who would look at our evidence, that'd be great.
But that was another thing we were going to talk about too, is the people that have been writing their city council, their mayors, their Congress, their senators, their governors. Scott,
witness 222. Yeah, you can promote your channel. Definitely promote your channels, guys. If y'all have channels, just put them in the chat. Do you, Cory, do you want to talk about Mind Control? You know, the guy.
Yes, that's the name of his channel, Mind Control.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott is his name. Scott's like 45. He's been targeted since 2001. His targeting began, he was driving down the road, and there was voices coming out of his speakers telling him, like, almost like a turn right, turn left, and he didn't even have a tom-tom then. So that's how they started with him in 2001, right after the World Trade Center thing happened. So he's been targeted now for 20 years. After he started writing his city council and stuff, he goes and does different, I don't know what they call them, where you go and do I have a name for them, where you can go join a study, like for schizophrenia, a study for medicine and different things like that. He goes to the VA, he does studies there, he gets into groups and he talks to other people. He's met lots of people that way. But anyway, he's been writing his city council in Los Angeles. And evidently they've been inundated by a lot of people that's been writing and telling them about different things that's going on there. And they started a task force to start studying this. And I don't know how they're going about it. I don't know if they're looking at radio waves or evidence on the body or whatever, but they're starting a task force to start investigating, why people are hearing voices, why they're feeling the things they're feeling, different things like that. So after the shooting in El Paso, he wrote I don't know if it was a congressman or the mayor. He wrote them down there and he's like, look, this kind of stuff is going on. It's called, targeted individuals. And these are some of the things. He has a blog page he does. He has his own website. He has all his videos. And he writes very eloquently. He used to be in, I don't think there's a VP or what of an electronics company. So he's very well educated. And he does inspections on vehicles and stuff like that. So he's prestigious. So he writes these people, and the police show up. The El Paso detectives show up in Los Angeles at his house to question him. He wasn't there at the time. His dad had been there. His dad's been living for 2 years. He said that they started asking his dad what was going on. His dad would tell him, well, sometimes he's on the floor curled up in a ball. Sometimes he's puking uncontrollably. They inundating so bad he can't. Some nights he's up 3, 4, 5, 6 nights in a row.
Can I say there was one thing that he was talking about? He said that they really messed with his appetite.
Yes.
So they wouldn't let him. And this is what I noticed. I started using the hearing aids, and I stopped using Dave Case's CD for like a week. And my attackers, it felt like there was pressure on my spine. Then my chest started hurting. Like my digestive system, it felt like I didn't want to eat anything, and it was putting pressure in my digestive system in my groin area. It was like tightness all down here. And then I started using Dave Case's CD again. I got off for a week, and they were doing that. I started using Dave Case's CD again, and after a couple of days, that kind of went away, and I got my appetite back. So I've gotten that appetite thing is really bad. It's like
he can only eat as if, say his dad is hungry. If he goes and fixes his dad something, he'll go ahead and fix him something, and they'll let him eat too. And it's the same way with me. I won't be able to eat unless my wife's hungry, and then when I go get food for her, I'll go ahead and grab me something, and they'll let me eat with her. That's the only time I really get to eat. And you can look at me; I'm not skinny. I don't know if they mess with your thyroid or what.
You're not that fat.
I know, but I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't understand. They must mess with your thyroid or something like that.
I think that's the deep brain stimulation. I think with deep brain stimulation, they can mess with our adrenaline, our endocrine
pituitary glands.
Yeah. Pituitary glands. They can, and the thyroid too. But I think they hit the thyroid and mess it up. But I think they also have a method of actually going through the brain, right. and not stimulating, or I guess maybe stimulating the thyroid sometimes, but suppressing. They can either stimulate a deep brain structure or they can suppress it.
Although I also think they're using external devices too. If you've ever seen say when someone gets hit with a taser, how they'll tense up. I think there's different frequencies that make your muscles tense like that too. Because sometimes I'll be eating and they'll squeeze my esophagus to where it don't go down, and it feels like there's a knot stuck in my throat. And they won't let it go down.
Even if I'm just drinking, even if I was just drinking something, I would start choking.
Yes, it gets stuck right there.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll give me,
Yeah. No,
I was just heartburn so bad. Sometimes it feels like I have lava, lava coming up and down in my throat, and I haven't even eaten anything. I don't know how they do that.
Mm-hmm. I thought that the choking thing, Like they would hit me in the throat with an external beam too. And I thought that the choking thing, it felt like a remote neural manipulation thing. But sometimes
Yeah.
they combine. Sometimes it's like they're hitting with an external beam and they're doing something with the remote neural manipulation too. You
Have you seen
know?
the video on my foot to where they were making my muscles dance on the side of
Yeah.
my foot?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Okay. So
definitely
I want to say everybody in chat, check out Cory's channel if you haven't. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
right.
And he has a lot of great videos, a lot of really inspirational videos, and
Yeah,
just
I stay
celebration
positive.
of that. I'm gonna play some Star Trek
All
music in the.
right.
I'm gonna play it real low so we can keep talking. So you can keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
Put,
That was the only other thing I was thinking of though is it's getting to a point now to where people are waking up. The sheep are no longer sleeping. The sheeple are turning into people. I was at work the other day and we were talking about the different things going on, and but there's a couple of conspiracy theories there, theorists there, but there was one there. He was just as plain insane as he could be, and he's just like, this doesn't make any sense. He's like, back in the old west, you didn't hear about all this kind of stuff happening when they had gunfighters. You didn't hear about people being slain and stuff like that. You didn't hear about criminals doing all this crazy stuff. And then why is it only shooting? Why is it only this?
why is it? Yeah, why is it in the modern world now we have what is it 280 something mass shootings just in 1 year?
283 just this year alone.
Just in 2019. And then in the old west, everybody had guns. I'm sure there were shootouts and stuff like that. We were talking about that, but nobody just went and just one person didn't go and just slaughter a bunch of
Another
innocent.
thing. I mean, I'm in Texas, right? So we have open carry here. You can literally have your pistol on your side walking down the street. You can carry a long arm in your arms walking down the street. You can have a concealed weapon. You can put it in the dash up on your gun rack, whatever. All these shootings in Texas, there hasn't been one person anywhere. There actually was. There was a man. He stopped someone. A man was walking into a Walmart with an assault rifle. He shot and killed him right there before he walked in the door to stand his ground. And it wasn't talked about in any of the papers. You have to search really, really hard. I'd have to find the name of the town. You'd have to go to that town's newspaper. That's the only publication of it.
When did that one happen?
This has been in the last 3 months.
Okay.
But you don't hear anything about it. So we were talking about that at work that day. He was like, yeah, that guy, they even had his name and everything. Yeah, he stopped the guy from going to Walmart, shot him, killed him.
Oh yeah, they don't politicize. I mean, they don't put those in the mainstream news when somebody actually stops a mass shooting with a gun.
Exactly.
It's not part of the plan.
Exactly. And we're in Texas, and everybody has guns in Texas. And you mean to tell me that none of these people stopped this? Nobody had a gun anywhere? Just like the guy that went into the church years ago and he killed everybody in the church. There was one man that came around and shot him. And then he was so shot that he wound up going to his car and shooting himself. But there was only one man in the whole town with a gun. I mean, come on. I mean, it's almost like they can see where the guns are, and they like, okay, there's no guns here, so we're gonna send this person here and do this.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, like before we came on the live stream, I see these mass shootings, and I guess I kind of want to research them more, but I kind of don't because it's so dark. But I do think that there's mind control involved and a patsy, and then a lot of them are multiple shooter false flags, with ex-military or agencies like the CIA or whatever, actually doing the mass
like me and you were talking. Like, I mean, I've been raised around guns pretty much my whole life, and I couldn't shoot a target 10 foot in front of me and hit it. I mean, I'm an absolute horrible shot. I mean, I couldn't do it. I mean, my wife is really good. We were talking about that. I said, you mean to tell me these people that's never owned a gun in their life are going and buying them and getting these perfect body shots, headshots, and all this stuff, never even fired one in their life, like Myron May?
Perfect shot every time.
Huh? Do what?
No, I said perfect shot every
Yeah,
time. There's
yeah,
no
like
way.
Byron Bay. He never even
Have to
owned
be,
one. I mean,
that's what I was saying. There would have to be like professional shooters, like
yeah,
ex-military trained people to kill that many people efficiently like that. It's not just some kid or just some 30-year-old white male who just hits everybody perfectly.
right,
There's not enough bullets are shot out of those weapons, to
right.
do it like that. So
The only other, I mean, one person I talked to, where were they from? I don't know if they're from California or Oklahoma. He had a theory that the people that get their back pay from being on Social Security or whatever, when you apply, you get your back pay and you get all that big chunk of money. He was
yeah,
thinking, well,
yeah.
that must be when they
I
go
did. I
buy,
got that. I got
yeah,
that.
when they
Yeah.
go buy these, $2,500 assault rifles, who can afford, most people that are targeted, their finances are shot, they can't
Yeah.
even work. They can't, I mean, how are they going to afford a $2,000 AR-15? And he's like, well, it must be when they go, get their back pay from that. That's when they do it. Like if you look at the guy in Ohio, the dude's car was about to fall apart. Didn't have no hubcaps on it or anything,
Hey,
but he had a
Cory. Cory,
$2,800.
do you hear the background? Do you hear the background music?
Yeah,
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna leave it on.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
but anyway, I'm just wondering, how these people are getting all. If this is my theory, and I'm sticking with it. If you've been targeted more than let's just say 3 to 5 years, I don't think that if your finances are shambles and all this stuff is going on, I mean, that's not the type of people they're looking for. I think these people that are doing this are already psychopaths. They already have the psychopath gene in their head, or it's switched on easily. They're the ones going and mutilating cats and dogs and doing these horrible things.
Yeah.
Beating up kids for no reason, doing these abusing the elderly.
Can I ask you this, Cory? Do you
Uh,
think it has something to do with this? Because I think about it like you're in the military. You're a good military person. Like you follow
mm-hmm.
good orders. But like the modern military, they have people who they have these very high expectations, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go serve my country." But then they're put through, and it's kill, kill, kill. They're trained and brainwashed to
Yeah.
kill, kill, kill. Then they do their service. They come out. Maybe they join the Masons, and then the Masons are like brainwashing them too. Do you think
Yeah.
like something
Well,
like
look,
that?
well, what you're saying there, like
You know what I'm
they
saying?
have people go through their boot camp. Pretty much, it's all the same, and then they go through what's called advanced individual training, which is
Mhm.
basically your college for what your MOS, military occupation, what your job is in the Army. Like
Mhm.
mine, I was artillery, so I was 25 miles behind, enemy lines. I never saw anybody, anything. They told me to shoot a round downrange. That's all I did. I never saw anybody, so they didn't train us to be like kill, 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 kill. They trained us to be, you aim the gun
You
this
weren't
way.
like
Yeah,
you weren't like on the ground like
hand to
with
hand combat.
going
No,
into cities and stuff like that. You were the
but the
artillery
people that
guy.
that are like that, their training is way more involved. And yes, I remember there was in our boot camp they'd go when you get your weapon. Like I remember my weapon number was 093. When you got to go in the army and get it. Ours was 093. Shoot, aim for the heart. And the other platoons was 09, or theirs was like 001. Shoot to kill. That was the thing they did in boot camp. But then when you get in your AIT, if you're a sniper or you're infantry or whatever you do, they really do like
Pump it
focus you
up.
into
Like you
doing
gotta kill. If we tell you to kill, whoever we tell you to kill, you kill. And there are no
exactly,
questions asked. Like that's what I sense
exactly.
from my attackers. It's not
Mhm.
like it's not even anything personal against me. Like, and
Right.
I know that some target individuals, there's like a vendetta thing going on. But with me, it was just like medical stuff. I got an implant in me, and these people that are targeting me, it's like they don't even dislike me. They kind of like me.
Right.
It could be a psyop, but it seems like they're just ex-military. They're Masonic, and they're like, we've got to do this,
Well,
and we're
just like
just
me.
taking the orders, and it doesn't matter that
Right.
it's a bad order because there's no such thing as a bad order anymore.
Right. If
I
they
feel
sent
like
me a
there's no
firing
such thing
mission
as a bad
and they
order
give me
anymore.
azimuth and direction of fire and it might be a school, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I'm typing in numbers for the gun to go that direction and then pulling the Lambert and firing. Same way with ICBM Minutemen. When they turn the key on that missile, you know, that's what they do. They're trained to do that. They can't think, oh, this is it. This is nuclear war. The whole world's over. When I turn
They
this
just
key,
have
it's
to do
done.
it.
Yeah,
They
just do it.
do it.
Yeah. And like you
But
said,
I feel like it was different because my grandpa was a naval engineer, and I felt like if those guys got a bad order, like, oh, you got to kill these innocent people, you know, or you got to kill the citizens of your country, they would have been like, no, hell no, that's a bad order. I don't have to take
right,
that bad order. I think that it just feels like that has changed. It feels
right.
like it's changed over the years, you know.
Oh, and I imagine that we probably killed some of our own people firing because they'll call rounds in right on top of them. But we
Yep,
had what
friendly
was called a
fire.
firing mission from Fire FDC, Fire Direction Control, and they're the ones that heard or where what was going, what it was doing. You know, we were the ones that just pointed the gun and fired it. We had no idea where it was going. We just knew what kind of round we were sending, a high explosive, a white phosphorus, a smoke or illumination, whatever it was. But that, which I'm glad it was that for me, because I mean, basically I was just, you know, almost like a video game, you know, I moved the joystick and there it went.
That's what I get, like the feeling of my attackers, where they're at a remote platform, and then this is a video game. They have like my computer, my phone, they have that screen up, they have my computer screen up, they have the remote neural monitoring screen up where they're seeing my brain activity.
They
They
can
got the
see,
inner voice
you know,
screen.
they can see all that. I couldn't even see. There's no way I could even see where my round went 25 miles away. You know,
Yeah.
they can see all that. That's what I don't understand. If it would have been, you know, let's say I got a firing mission and I knew I was going to go blow a school up, I wouldn't have done it. I would have been like, no, I'm not doing this, and I would have walked off.
There's a line. There's a line
Yes.
you go across. You know.
Yes, and I don't care if I'd have been court-martialed and thrown in the brig and lost my, you know, my rank and everything else. I wouldn't care because there's rules of engagement, you know.
That brings up a good point. How many police officers and how many military guys have been court-martialed or kicked out because they wouldn't take bad orders? Like, how many law enforcement guys know about this program where they're doing this to innocent citizens and they just left? But they don't come out like whistleblow. They just leave. They just
then they turn around and say, "Well, guess what? You have a family, you have friends. You live on 123 Pecan Street, and your daughter goes to the Cohan Elementary, and she leaves there every day at 3:00. Maybe we'll send somebody to go pick her up one day. Then what are you going to do? I mean." They probably didn't even know what they were getting into when they got into this, and
that's what I get that feeling from some of the people on the shift work that are attacking me. Like it may be a psyop, but this woman on there says this is crazy. This is getting too satanic. I don't think they knew who they were going to be murdering, you know, and how long it would go on, and just how screwed up it would get. But that could be a psyop because I have some psychopaths on my shift work, you know, where they don't care. Yeah, they're just like, we got to put him away. We've got to put him away. He was picked for this. I mean, they've said that on the V2K, like he was picked for this. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter because the woman will be like, he's a good guy. Let him go. Let him go. Help him. Help him. She'll say that, and he'll be like, no, we got to put him away. We have to do this. You know.
Yeah, I had the same thing too. It was a woman would be like, no, just let him go to sleep. You know, he's really tired. You know, y'all been hurting him too much. You know, let him sleep. But I mean, all that stopped for me. And I don't know if they switched me over to like an AI system now, because I have the same voice 24/7. It doesn't. I mean, every now and then I'll get like a female voice.
You want to talk about that? Because like we talk about how I think it is. It's like I think my chatterbox, like my V2K, I think it's almost completely AI at this point.
Right.
It's stuff that they have said.
That's how I was at first. I was like, it's AI and it's people.
Wait, Cory, wait, 1 second. But then like I'll have these noise canceling hearing aids on, so it digitally distorts things, and I'll like run the bathwater, and then there's this noise induction, and the guy will start screaming, kill yourself, get out of there, you suck, like things like that. And I feel like that's manual. There's this chatterbox that's running all the time, but they'll throw in certain things every once in a while. manual. You know what I'm saying?
When the water is going down the drain, do you hear them talking through the drain too? It's like,
They
stuff
can,
like that.
they can do that through any noise, because in there it's not actually putting voices or noises through the water. It's how
Nope.
you're hearing it. It's the
Exactly.
interaction when you're hearing it.
Check this out. They proved to me the other day that, you know how you have noise canceling headphones, and so like, you're on a plane, it will cancel out the other noise by making the same noise. I was in a restaurant, right? It was happy hour, and it was loud. I was in Dave and Buster's actually. Video games were going off. I mean, there was everything going on that there was so many noises that there's no way a noise canceling headphone would ever be able to keep up. They're like, we want to show you something, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's that? Quiet. I could hear what my wife's saying. My wife's talking to me. I could not hear any of the sounds of the video games. I couldn't hear the people talking. And they said noise canceling works both ways.
Yeah.
And I was like,
can I tell you crap. Like, I'll be sitting there, I'll be watching something on my tablet, and I'll have the volume up, but I'll have headphones on so I can't hear it, right? I can't hear what's on the tablet, but I'll hear it through V2K, because whatever system they're on, they have my tablet pulled up and the volume playing on my tablet, so I'll hear that through the V2K, but I won't hear it in real life. Like, I won't hear it from the tablet. I'll hear it from my attackers, the V2K that they're sending. Like,
have you heard your own voice through V2K yet? Have you heard your voice like everybody else hears your voice?
I think they've done my voice occasionally. They don't do that much. They'll do somebody's voice, and I'll be like, oh, cool, it's that person's voice, and they'll be like, oh, I'm not doing that. The woman will be like, I'm not doing, because sometimes it's, but
they don't know what your voice sounds like inside your head, because they can't hear that inside your head.
But they know what it sounds like to everyone.
Outside to other people.
They know what it objectively sounds like. Yes. I hate the way my voice sounds. Me and somebody else were talking about that last night, and I sound like a California surfer dude. My jaw is screwed up. Like, these people have screwed up my jaw, and so I have this feeling like, hey guys, what's up? It's really. And let me tell you this: you need to try the noise canceling hearing aids, because I put those in, and last night I had to take one of them out, just one on the right side. I had to take it out so I could talk to somebody on the phone. And my jaw started hurting, like all down. Is your wife calling you?
No, I have Beats that has noise canceling. Yeah, I can put these on and turn the noise canceling on, and it does the same thing your hearing aids does.
You need to get the hearing aids, brother. I'm going to talk because it's like this digital. It's a digital, what's it called? A digital, I just got erased. Like a digital interference, because you're hearing all these other sounds, but it's also doing the noise canceling frequency straight through your outer and inner ear. So it's somehow messing with layers of the remote neural manipulation. Like, I took out one of them, and I still had this one in the left side, but my attacker started like hurting my vagus nerve. Like when I have these both in, that doesn't happen anymore. Like, the vagus nerve stimulation on my left side is stopped. But if I have them both, but I took one of them out on the right side, mind you, not the left side. I took the one out of the right side, and they started actually giving me pain all down my head, through my cheek. It's this vagus nerve thing right here. So it messes with the remote neural manipulation somehow. I'm gonna find out more from Dr. Hoffer. What do you think about him? What do you think about Dr. Hoffer? You think there's some hope there?
Well, he's kind of out of my area. I'm closer to Dr. John Hall, and I already have out
of my area too. I've got to fly to Miami.
Well, I mean, just saying, Dr. John Hall's in San Antonio. I'm right here in Austin. That's only an hour drive for me. And I've called and see about making appointments. I have like 5 ruptured discs in my back. So he's an anesthesiologist, pain management doctor. And I thought about just going in, and while I'm on his dime, just be like, hey, this is happening, and just tell him about the targeting and see, because I mean, he's kind of dropped off the scene though. I mean, I haven't heard anything else about him. He had that heart transplant.
Yeah, he had a heart attack, and then he had to get that fixed. But my parents said when they were coming into town on Thursday night, they heard him in an interview with somebody like late Thursday night. So apparently he's still giving interviews. But this is what I heard. I heard it through the grapevine that he can't see targeted individuals as patients anymore, but because he got something happened with his license because he was seeing and helping targeted individuals. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was just a rumor, but that's what I heard.
That's why
So
I
if
wanted to do it incognito, go in with an actual, you know,
maybe, yeah.
yeah, condition.
Somebody in
And
chat, if you can tell us, like, is Dr. John Hall still seeing targeted individual patients?
yeah, I would like to know, because he's right down the road, and maybe he could refer me, because he's in that group, and maybe he could refer. I haven't heard a lot about just the other doctor though. I mean,
Well,
how would he
Dr.
go
Hall,
about what is he looking for? Is he doing like brain studies, MRIs? I mean, how is he going about
I
testing
don't
people
know.
out?
He's the person who the State Department told him to look into the Cuban embassy workers. So he did testing, like concussion testing on them and everything like that. Now they actually had their MRI DTIs at the University of Pennsylvania.
Right.
But now it seems that the state, this is what I think, I'm not sure, but it seems like the State Department is asking him to take targeted individual patients because they don't know what's happening. So
Right.
he can target individual patients. The noise canceling hearing aids actually affect some of this stuff. So it seems like he does know what's happening.
You don't
But I
think
don't
it's like
know.
J. Allen Hynek in the Project Blue Book, to where he's basically, he's studying UFOs, but at the same time he's debunking everything as swamp gas? You don't think it's going to be one of those type of things with the targeting on him? I mean,
I hope not. I hope that he's for real. I really think that there's a lot of governmental agencies and doctors who are not involved. And they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they're trying to help. I don't know.
But see, the targeting is so different for everybody. They might do these things on you. They might do something different on me. I mean, they have people to where they do nothing but anal things on them, rape things on them, make them sweat, make them have dreams. I mean, pain. I mean, everybody's got different types of targeting. It's kind of hard to pinpoint one thing.
But I think there's some bottom lines with how they do remote neural manipulation. Like there's different layers and different bag of tricks for everybody. But I think there's some bottom lines with how they manipulate the brain. I think that anybody who's getting remote neural manipulation, even if they have a non-consensual implant, it's putting up frequencies through the vestibular
Okay, that's where you're going. That's
system. Then you got a bidirectional stream.
Frequencies.
Okay.
That's what they need to focus on, is they're sending and receiving.
Right. That's kind of a bottom line.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a bottom line. It's like we're getting hit with frequencies, but sometimes it's like, I think with some people it can be more just straight microwave, and then some people it may be infrasound and ultrasound mixed with electromagnetic frequencies. They can manipulate what they're shooting in, but there's kind of a bottom line where they're using all of the electromagnetic spectrum, right?
I've had them make my mattress go boom, 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 boom underneath my foot before. I mean, how the heck do they do that, man?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like someone was taking their fist and hitting the mattress. Is that sound waves, or? I mean, it's crazy.
It could. I mean, it could, because that's what they're doing, like above me, to make me think that there's somebody up there. It'll be like thump, and it'll be a hit right there. It'll be like a hit. Or do like
your raptors make like popping noises a lot? Do you get your raptors in your ceiling go pop, crick, like your house is settling?
Like footsteps, and then putting stuff down, and then like they're moving stuff around, or they're walking around and stuff like that. But it's like a sound at the point of impact, and I think that would be ultrasound or just sonic, just a sonic weapon. Like I could see
it could be V2K making you think you're hearing that.
Huh?
Could be the V2K making you think that's what you're hearing too. It could be the V2K.
Yeah, but the V2K sounds different. It really it could be because I know our perceptions can be kind of tricked, but it really does sound like sound from the point of impact.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It sounds like either ultrasound or infrasound or some kind of sonic sonic sound.
Like say when somebody slams a door, not only do you hear the door slam, but you kind of hear the wall shake and everything else.
A little bit
like
of
that.
a vibration. And I wonder if it's electromagnetic frequencies or if it's sonic.
Yeah.
That it could be a mixture of both.
Right.
Like that's the thing, because like I think the bidirectional stream of energy, it could be a mixture of like ultrasound and electromagnetic frequency. We don't know how they're mixing these things, you know. So people say, you know, bidirectional stream of photons, which that makes sense because photons.
Well, then you got scalar too. Nobody understands scalar. If you try to, I've tried to wrap my head around scalar. It's like scalar is almost like a cell phone signal. You have your cell phone here, you have the antenna there. There's nothing in between you can see. There's no wire. It's like scalar. The signal starts here. It goes through the ether somehow, like subspace, and then it appears on the other side. I mean, scalar is something that I can't wrap my head around. It's just so.
I can't either. In Q-Wave even says that they use scalar waves for the Q-Wave defenders, but if you're talking about like a frequency that starts here and then somehow quantumly doesn't appear down the line and just
like
appears
quantum entanglement.
Like boom, boom. Is that quantum? Is it using quantum?
It's scalar. That's what. All right. What's it? Nikola Tesla. He was right when he got broke after Edison made him look, stupid with the AC DC war. He started electrocuting elephants and all that, blah blah blah. Well, he went bankrupt, so he moved to Russia and he told Russia, "I've got this doomsday device, and I can basically do anything. I can blow up a whole area, and I'll sell this to you." And they're like, "Okay, well, show us what it does." He sets up in Moscow, right? He's going to crack the polar ice cap at the North Pole. He's just going to destroy a whole piece. Well, he gets his device mixed up and he hits Tunguska. You know where Tunguska is, right? If you look it up online in 1908, there was an area in Tunguska, Russia, where all the trees are laid down flat. Looks like a nuclear bomb went off. They have no idea what happened. That was Tesla with his scalar device, and it was just a small little burst, one of the smallest ones he had.
It blew up an entire area trying to get it.
Yes.
Wow.
Look up Tunguska. And that was before they had nuclear weapons or anything. And all the trees are laid flat. It killed 2 people.
I'm going to be looking up scalar because I think scalar waves are definitely used in our attacks. I just don't know how. I always just say, they have this bag of tricks. They use the entire electromagnetic spectrum. They use all types of directed energy. Directed energy can be infrasound, ultrasound, scalar waves, sonic weapons, So I think
these waves are millimeter and submillimeter. These things are so tiny, they can almost hit like a hair follicle. It's that small. Just like at the airport, they have the millimeter, you put your arms up in the little box and it goes around you and it looks for weapons or whatever. In the airport, it's called a millimeter wave array. They have submillimeter too. And they basically what I think they do, it's kind of like, how when a TP comes together, it goes like this and it comes together. I think the waves are like millimeters. And one here, so one here, one here, one here, until they get to a point. And let's say these are all 5 watts apiece. Well, once you get, all these together, you've got a 50-watt beam in one little bitty tiny speck of a spot. And that's what burns the crap out of you when you feel that burn on your body. It feels like, I don't know if you ever had the burn before.
My attackers, they don't do laser burns though. It's like they'll either hit me.
It's definitely radio waves, but it's not a laser.
Right. Yeah. Like my attackers have hit me with like a kind of a heat beam, and it heats up the place on the skin. It'll make it red. Or they can hit me with like a wide beam like that, like hitting all of my shoulders or all of my lower back. But it seems like with the grounding. And then and all these other things that I'm using, it seems like those are very toned down. Where my attackers, like I can't feel the external hits anymore. And I don't know if the defenses were helping it a little bit. My attackers decided to just focus on the mental stuff and the remote neural manipulation. But it's like, oh God, and just saying this, they're gonna do it tonight. They're gonna start hitting in the back.
Well, we've both made that agreement to where we don't go into detail about what they do to each one of us. So.
Yeah, but sometimes, like if it's on this and you want to talk about, because that thing you were talking about with when you were using the bathroom, my attackers ended up doing it to me for like 3 days. but I was like, oh, well, yeah, this is what Cory was talking about. And then they
Mhm.
kind of went on to something. They just wanted to show me they could do it, you know. And
I
then,
really do it when I'm at work. Like I mean, I'll explain it to people that don't understand. When a man
yeah,
goes to the bathroom, he pees and then he'll shake it, and then and there's nothing there. Puts it back in his pants, goes on about his business. What they do is somehow or another I don't know if they close your urethra off way
I think
back
it's
behind
that.
it, and you get
I
to
think it's
walk it off,
that.
and there it goes. It would just come out like enough to just to let you know that hey, we've held some back.
So you
And
basically think that you're done. It really feels
yes,
like you're done using the bathroom, but then you get your pants back on, and then there's a lot more.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a remote. No, I think it's messing with the autonomic nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
that function, the function of that organ that we're talking about. They
Yeah,
can
the
they
urethra or the bladder, whatever it is. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And they can. I mean, they've done that. I mean, they made me feel like that I've had to go to the bathroom so bad that I need to pull over and find a bathroom right away. And then I get in the
Oh
bathroom,
yeah.
there's nothing. It was them hitting me in my stomach to make it feel like I was just, you know, I had a horrible gas or I had to go to the bathroom, and it won't be anything.
Have you been using Dave Case's CD at all? Has it been helping any of that?
I go to whenever I go to sleep at night, I either leave a TV going with something like preachers preaching or something, or I listen to Christian music. So I don't. That's my way of doing it. You know, encouraging positive things that are going into my mind, um, even though that I mean, that when I tried David K. CD, all they did was all that. No wait, they were just talking over the top of it.
Yeah, they do voice induction when you're listening to the CD. So the V2K gets worse in a different way. They're doing V2K a different way, but it's
Mm-hmm.
affecting the remote neural manipulation. It's affecting like how they can make you really anxious. It's
Right.
affecting, I think, even some deep brain stimulation because it's affecting this electromagnetic field around the head. So it's therefore affecting this bidirectional stream. It's making everything weaker. It's like
Well,
kind of cutting into the cycle. Dude, that it's
whenever
a
I get like that,
scientific.
when I get that feeling, whenever I get that overwhelming, just horrible, like I almost
Yeah.
want to just get out of my skin, I reach over and I just touch my wife. And when I touch her, it's like I ground or something, or I'll
Yeah.
spoon against her, and just my skin touching her skin, it just goes away. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm lucky I have somebody there, but on the same time, that's a double-edged sword because they can make her mad because the dishes hadn't been done, or the I don't know, the pillowcase isn't fluffy enough, or some food wasn't right, or I forgot to put a straw in her cup. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but at the same time, I can use when she's there with me and I feel the worst. I just touching and feeling human contact, it takes that away. I mean,
I
it's just
kind of
hard to
did.
explain.
Yeah, I have like aluminum foil beside me. I haven't thrown it all away. And one
Mm-hmm.
night, like this pulling pain in my body was just so bad, and it felt like it was from remote neural manipulation. And I touched the big stack of aluminum,
Uh-huh.
and it actually like seemed to be flowing to the aluminum. Like whatever they
Yes.
were doing, the electromagnetic frequency seemed to be flowing to it. You know.
Another thing I'll do is I'll put a TENS unit on. Like if they're hitting me in my stomach real bad, making me feel sick or making me give you that tense feeling, I'll put a TENS unit on and I'll turn it on, and it goes away instantly.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, this if I did well, the noise canceling hearing aids may help a little bit, but
uh,
like I used to get like if I did a video, I wasn't nervous about making the video, but right when I'd start making the video, it'd just be like, ooh, just real nervous, and my heart would start beating fast. But this really cuts into it. Like I've added this too, so it seems stronger, and I'm not sure which one helps more.
are you
Uh,
still doing that? The transcranial stimulation thing
yeah,
device?
yeah, it's on right now.
Oh, okay.
Using it
So
right now. I use
yeah.
it all the time. They came into, did you know? I told you they came into my place and cut it. They cut this part of it, and I have an extra one. You know, thank God. Yeah, yeah. Somebody broke into my condo and then broke this part so that it wasn't working. Like I had that piece. Where is that piece?
I'll have to
I
look
don't know
at
where it is, but but yeah, like I mean, I guess they knew that it was working or whatever. They sent somebody in the condo who probably didn't even know what they were messing with, like just break this thing. And somebody came in my condo and did it. Like I have people breaking into my condo all the time.
Well, see, I mean, they could try to gaslight me, but I wouldn't know because I mean, my wife could move it or whatever, and that's what I would tell myself anyway. So when you're saying you need to you got to get you got to get you a roommate or get you get your girl, get you a girl there. It really helps. But I'm telling you, relationships are really hard because they will bring up anything to get a fight. Jealousy is the green-eyed monster of jealousy is their number one tool that they love to use. They can try to make you think anything and everything,
Yeah, I've already dealt with that in the relationship I'm in right now, but we love each other so much.
Right.
The
Oh,
target.
they'll put it in your. This is what it sounds like when your wife is having sex with this guy, and they'll have the sound going through your head, and you're like, this is all bull. I know it's bull. I mean, you couldn't melt my wife down and pour her on another man.
Yeah, they always make me think that she's like talking to other guys and like and stuff, and it gets really bad. Like I'm not like a jealous person, but they amp it up. My attackers will amp that feeling up where I'm like extremely jealous, and I'm like, oh my god.
God's prepared me in every situation. I've always been the type of guy like if I got tired of a girl, then I went on. I'm not a model by no means, but I'm not a an ugly guy either. I've never had a problem getting a female. And then as far as them things that like they threatened me with homelessness. I got on drugs real bad when I was in my 20s, and my parents let me hit rock bottom to where I didn't have anywhere to go. I was on the streets. I was going to the Salvation Army and eating to where I had to pick myself up by my bootstraps, get a job, get my own place and do it. So when they threatened me with homelessness, I've already been there too. When they threatened me with jealousy, hey, I can go and get another girlfriend. When they threatened me with losing my job, hey, I can get another job. When they threatened me with being sick, hey, I can overcome that too. We're going to get you cancer.
What's the saying? You remember Yoda talking to Anakin in episode 3? You must learn to let go of everything you fear to lose.
Exactly.
The Jedi way. I have a hard time with that. Like I can let go a lot of things that I can't control, but like if I really love somebody, I'm like, oh man, I need to be with them. I need to do everything for them. And it's kind of a path to the dark side. You got to learn how to balance it, because you can get very angry if you can't fix everything, and anger leads to fear. Wait, what is it? What's the saying? Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to violence, and violence is a path to the dark side.
Exactly. The best thing you can do in a relationship is honesty is the best policy, and not doing anything secretive. If there's something you need to tell them, if you were the one that ate the last popsicle, you need to let them know, hey, I ate the last popsicle. Or if you're doing something that even the tiniest little thing, you went and your wife don't like you to smoke or don't like you to drink, and you went and bought a beer. You need to let her know. That's the thing.
Communication. Because when you have these disruptive technologies and disruptive neuroweapons, they could make you and the person you care about like feel these different things. So you have to talk about like, I'm feeling this way. And I think some of it's from that. I mean, you'd have to talk to your wife a different way, because she doesn't want to talk about this stuff, but you've got to communicate so that it just gets neutralized. So it's
tell me all the time. I'm so angry all the time. I don't know why. Everything makes me angry. And then people could say, hi, how you're doing? And I'd just be angry. Then next day she'll say, I'm so depressed. Everything's got me so depressed. I mean, there's not everything I see depresses me. Or she'll say, I'm so on edge right now. Everything is making me so nervous. I feel like I need to get all this stuff done, but I don't know how to go about doing it. Or I feel like I'm forgetting to do something. And I mean, it's almost like they're targeting her in a different way, but just to get at me. You know what I mean?
That's what they target my dad. They target my dad, and it's in a completely different way where he doesn't know he's being targeted, but
exactly
like he's doing to me.
But you know what it is. You know what it is. Yeah. And it's to get at you. They're doing it to get it to get under your skin.
Yeah, but I think they're adding people in. like it's because your wife is around you, they're going to use a certain protocol. Maybe some people within the same contractors that are hitting you, they're like, oh, this is that person that lives with him and we're surveilling him already. So we're just going to add her in. It's going to be a different protocol. We're going to try and use them against each other. But they just kind of, it's like these surveillance trees that Edward Snowden was talking about. Even with just surveillance, they surveil one person, then surveil 3 people coming off of them, 3 people coming off of all those people. I think the targeting works like that too. They're just like, oh, your family's around you, so we're just going to target them. And then whoever they're around, we're going to target some people off of them. And so it just goes like that, you know?
It's going to get to the point, though, to where people, I mean, the last thing I was doing was, when they start targeting me real hard, one of my friends, Rocky, he's like, when they keep me up all night long and they won't let me sleep, I go and I start writing, my congressman, I write my different people, and I send them emails. And I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. So I started writing my story, writing about everything, and writing it in a way that was very intelligent and had background into the history of how, Dr. Sharp back in the 50s was able to put tones in people's minds on the Tonight Show, about how Joseph Sharp was able to finally put voices when people would be working on radar towers, they could actually hear the communications coming off of it. And then about how different frequencies can make people feel different ways. And I put all that in this thing. And I was thinking, well, what is the number one group of people, that I could get this to, that would listen to it and not freak out and say, oh, this is all bull, but be like, oh, this seems pretty interesting. And I was thinking, church. But people at church, they're at church, their cars are parked down the parking lot. I thought about just going and putting flyers under people's windshield wipers. And even if they didn't read them, or even if some of them did, be like, hey, honey, remember the day we saw this about under the windshield wiper about this happening and this happening? Isn't that what's happening to Bobby down the street? Isn't he saying something like that's happening to him?
Yeah.
And I thought about just doing things like that.
Where they're like questionable situations, then they'll see the flyer.
Exactly.
And, like,
and these people all work. They all have people jobs they go to, and they'll be, hey, I got a flyer under my windshield wiper the other day talking about this. Have you heard about that? And just little seeds planted like that throughout the community. And to me, a church would be the best place to go, because all those people have friends, family, they're all intertwined, and they all have jobs. They all talk to others.
But I think a lot of people have been gang stalked in church. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, like a lot of churches, will not talk about this. The pastors won't touch it, and then people actually gang stalk in the churches. So there are some churches that would be receptive, and you'd have pastors that actually care about it. But then there's churches that won't talk about it, and they're actually part of the system. They're getting churches to be part of the organized gang stalking system, which is unbelievable. Like, if there's a place where Christians gather, they should be against
But they
this.
might not even be telling the people that that's what they're doing. They might say, well, this guy's a pedophile, or he's a whatever, and we just want to watch him, It could be anything they're telling these people,
Mm-hmm. I mean, and they think they're the good guys. They think that, oh, you're the bad guy. They're the good guy for gang stalking, or for keeping an eye on you, or messing with your stuff to let you know that an eye is being kept on you. It's ridiculous, I can't even imagine what somebody breaking into my condo and cutting that. It's a transcranial stimulation device. What were they thinking? Like, oh, I'm going to cut that thing. Why does he have this device? Like, you'd think they'd think a little bit more about what they're doing. But maybe, I don't know how much some of them know. Like, if they know that we're being hit with microwaves, but they're like, oh, it's a bad person, so authority knows what they're doing, and they're hitting these people with microwaves, and they just accept that. Or if they're like, oh, these people are crazy and they're dangerous, and they think they're being hit with directed energy weapons, but that's another reason to watch them, how it kind of feeds into itself. Hey, man, I got to use the bathroom real quick.
Hey, well, I got to go anyway, man. It's getting close to time for me to get off. But hey, if you want to do this again, I'm always open. I said, my wife's going on overnights for 3 weeks, so I'll have all night long as you want to go, dude.
So you can't stay on for a little bit longer?
It's getting close. I can't stay on a little bit longer.
Okay. Well, okay, everybody say bye to Cory. Say thank you to Cory for coming. Thank you so much for coming,
Oh,
bro.
thanks for having me, Kyle.
We need to talk more because we didn't even get to most of the stuff we wanted to talk about. I mean, we
Well,
had a good conversation, but there's a lot more, to
oh
talk
yeah. Well,
about.
we'll. I mean, that's going to give us more in the future. And plus, maybe you'll look through your chat and see if there's anything people want to talk about because I mean, they pretty much know me and you are both kind of
Yeah,
hip to what's going on, and maybe we both have a similar concept, of thought.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe I mean we're both really open minded and positive about it. Maybe there's some things that they want us to discuss or just kick around.
Yeah, I'll check out the chat. I think I'm gonna maybe hang out for a little while longer and see if maybe somebody wants to come on the panel or something. But if you got to drop off, man, we'll do this again. Do
Okay,
this
my
again.
man. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for having me, dude.
All right. Yeah. God bless you. God protect you, Cory. Thanks for coming on, man.
All
Just
right.
stay strong. We're gonna
We'll
get
see y'all
through this
later.
stuff.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Cory.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So that was Cory. Check out his channel at I wonder how long we've been going. Does anybody know how long the live stream's been going on, guys? But check his channel out. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. I'm going to mute my mic real fast, guys. And then what I'll do is I'll go through some of y'all's chats. We'll just go through some chats and hang out. And then I'll give y'all the link if somebody wants to come on. I can hang out a little bit longer, maybe another hour or whatever. But y'all give me a second to use the bathroom, and I'll be right back. Was that like 2 hours or something? Have we been going for 2 hours? I'll check when I get back, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, so I'm back. Let me read some of y'all's chats. So Messenger of the Cross says the churches in America are the worst place you can go, I assure you. 501c3 clergy response teams. Yeah, I think a lot of churches are actually involved in the organized stalking because they're given money. And I think they're told that the people that they're going to be targeting are bad people or whatever. But then I think some churches are really against it. So it's kind of just like everything else. There are some churches that are involved, and there's some churches that, because the lady from Three Hearts Church, she like actually showed some of my videos on her YouTube channel for her church. So she obviously knows it's a really bad thing, and she knows about gang stalking. So we've got some of the churches that are helping, but it's just hard to know which ones are and which ones are involved. Let me, guys, I'm gonna put the let me see how long was that. Was that a lot longer than I thought? It seems like we were just talking for like 15 minutes. We'll get Cory back on sometime. He has a lot of really good information. Our targeting is very similar. Let's see. Erica Nario says, Messenger of the Cross says, this is just such a crime against humanity. How can people take their ease and entertain themselves in the face of all this who are being tortured? It's the bread and circuses. Like I saw my family watching the America's Got Talent or whatever, and they were just like enjoying that. And like there are people, I'm being murdered in front of them. Some of my family members are being targeted, and it's just like not going to talk about it, you know? They're just not going to talk about it, and they're going to enjoy their bread and circuses. Okay, so we were going about an hour and a half. I'll just hang out for another 30 minutes unless somebody wants to come hang out. I'll put the invite here. You guys can hear me, I think. Yeah, I'll put this in the chat. So if anybody wants to come in, if you got Zoom and you want to join, I just put the link in the chat, guys. We can just come in. You can just talk about whatever. And I guess I need to say, like I wasn't going to do a live stream this weekend because Nex usually does, Nex usually does the weekends. He does like a Friday panel and a Saturday panel. But I talked to Nex today. I don't want to talk about, I don't know what he wants me to talk about and not talk about, but he is having some trouble and he doesn't have a place to stay. And I don't know the details, but it seems like some really bad stuff went down. Some tough stuff for him went down. I don't know all the details. Yeah, Jeff, if you want to, I'm kind of just like for another hour, I'm gonna keep it going. If you guys jump on, we can stay on longer. Yeah, I mean we'll hang out for a while. Whatever, we'll hang out for a while, and if you guys want to come on, that's fine. I had a few things that maybe I wanted to go through, but I did want to just let y'all know, if you want to support Nex, go to his channel, and he has a PayPal account if you want to help him out. I have no idea what's going on. Like he's having trouble, and he doesn't have a place to stay. I don't know what happened. I know some bad stuff happened, but that's why he hasn't been doing a bunch of panels lately, because he's trying to get stuff worked out in his life. He's trying to get settled and find a place to stay. So if anybody knows a place that he can stay, or can help him out with his PayPal account, please, think about doing that. I don't know, so I wasn't really planning on doing a bunch of live streams this weekend, but I thought maybe I'd help out. I'd help out since he's not able to do panels now. I mean, I was going to do kind of live streams and stuff like that, but maybe not as many panels, but I don't know. Cheryl Lewis says, does anyone here have their teeth breaking off? My teeth are really bad, and they have been my whole life, and my dad's teeth are really bad, like where I get cavities, and all these teeth are porcelain. They're all fake, but I still get cavities really bad because they'll like hit me in the teeth. And I think I don't even think they have to hit you directly in the teeth for this to cause a lot of cavities, for microwaves and the directed energy around your head to actually cause your teeth to be very unhealthy. The Drunken Ninja says, I am right with God, but I can't be treated like a lab rat. I'm human. Yeah, me too. We got to fight this. We have to fight this. We have to end the program. But honestly, I'll tell you guys, I've been going through this a long time, and you got to kind of start treating this. You got to get to a point where you start treating what's happening to you like a disease, and you're getting these parasites unhooked from you, because you can't really fight your attackers right now. Like my attackers, I don't know where they are. They're shooting microwaves at me remotely. I'm fighting the program. I'm going to get this stopped, and I'm going to get awareness out. But with what's happening immediately, you've got to find out how to get their hooks out of you and neutralize as much of it as you can. You know, and it's the only way that I found, guys, throughout all these years. We're doing more. We're doing more to end this program and to make things better for us. But, you know, treating it like a disease, getting their hooks out, finding defenses, it's not only do that. We don't only need to do that. We need to do a lot more. We need to, you know, in the program, we need to get awareness out. We need court cases. We need to talk to doctors. We need to do all this stuff. But you're going to have to buy time, you know, and seeing this as a disease where you can neutralize, put your layers on, use your different layers of defense to neutralize. It's the only way I see to climb up. Because I mean, I can sit here all day and be like, oh, I want to knock my attackers out. I want and yell at them on their V2K and stuff, and try and convince them they're evil, and do all these things where I'm reacting to the program and I'm reacting to gang stalkers. It doesn't get me anywhere. It actually gets me in a worse place, because it's a tar baby. The parasite, its hooks tighten as you fight it more, as you like fight the immediacy of the microwave attackers and everything. So you've got to learn how to treat this as a disease, get the hooks out, you know, get the hooks out, and then you're going to be in a better position. And then it's like, what do we do about this whole program? How do we do the big process, right? Get through the big process of ending this or finding a doctor. You know, it's a very ironic fight. Stacy says this was happening with Obama too, the Brain Initiative. Yeah, I think the Brain Initiative made it a whole lot worse. Like he put a lot of money into, you know, studying the brain and stuff like that. So Congress gave a lot more money to these black projects, things that DARPA was working on. And then obviously, you know, what the contractors and subcontractors under the DOD were working on also. Yeah, I think all of them. Autumn said Stacy, yes, and Bush too. Yeah, I think all these presidents, even presidents before 9/11, were putting things in place for this. You know, you look back at Reagan. Reagan was the one who initiated Star Wars to put satellites up to actually hit missiles to you know, stop missiles when they were coming towards America. And I think that was beginning infrastructure. It's in, you know, they put in more and more infrastructure so that these people, our attackers and the automated systems, can have a remote platform and then use this entire infrastructure that's been being built for so long to actually attack targeted individuals, you know. Jeremy Andrew says Vulcan Wolverine for president. Start date time. Start date 11:17 p.m. September 7th, 2019. We are entering the Omega system. The Omega system at 11:17. No, I would never want to be president. I want to go live in the woods. I want to get away from big cities and like live in the woods. And I want to go back to like getting away, because centralized government and centralized authority is just taking over everything. So, I mean, we're going to have to kind of use the system to try and get people aware of this stuff. But I kind of want to live as much outside of the system as I can. Like get food, maybe have a job, do those things with the system, but then try and disconnect myself from the corrupt part of the system. Messenger of the Cross says, check this radar out. Oh, wait, let me go back. Check this radar out. The blue is EMF waves and radiation. Many things are going on, but this shows the plasma bursts and EMF microwave pulses. Okay, I'm going to go to that, Messenger of the Cross. Oh, I'm going to have to go, let's see. It's not a secure website. I'm going to pull this up where I can share the screen with you guys. Let's go here. Let's go to this screen, and I'll share my screen with you guys. radar. Okay. Let me share my screen, guys. Okay, so what is this? NexRad reflective mobile device is called National High Resolution Reflectivity Composite Loop. So this is kind of, is this a radar visual of the weather, or of all the frequencies on the ground? Hey, so hold on. So Messenger of the Cross, what is this? Okay, so wait, okay, check this radar out. The blue is the EMF waves and radiation. Many things are going on, but this shows the plasma burst and the EMF microwave pulses. So all the blue is electromagnetic frequencies. And these are those clouds right there, or are these actually plasma pulses? Look over here. Look along the eastern seaboard. Might have a lot of ground radar here. A lot of ground radar here. Ground radar and over the horizon radar, and a lot of ground and over the horizon radar here where it's all coming. And then smaller like microwave towers and things like that. I don't know. That's really interesting. I'm going to look into this. It doesn't have a description about it on this thing. NexRad reflectivity. That's really interesting. Thanks, Messenger of the Cross. I don't really know exactly, is it just all electromagnetic frequencies all over America like that? If any of this has to do, like if any of these is like anything we're being targeted with, then it seems like we need to move to like Montana. We need to move like here and here. Or what's this, Utah? We need to move there. We need to move into these areas right here. Because look, the whole eastern side, you got California, which has a lot of strong signals down here. New Mexico, you got strong signal emissions. It looks like these little things where it's like a circle. You see these lines coming out of it. It seems like that would be something like ground radar, or like something that's actually pulsing it out, like a mechanism that's pulsing it out, like along here too. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into this a lot more. This is really interesting. And this is where I am. I'm right here in Baton Rouge. And then it looks like there's some radar stuff down here, like the border of Mississippi and Louisiana. It's just it's like a big electromagnetic soup, you know, that we live in. Let's see. Stacy says there's nowhere to go that's safe. Yeah, that's why I say we've got to get enough defenses and stuff to attenuate it, and then like look for some place. I think there's some places where it might be weaker, you know, where might not be as many microwave towers, or I don't know. But I look at Brian Two's situation, and it's like he's gone everywhere to try and get away from it. I think some people are going to try going into submarines, and you know, some people go into really deep underground caves. One guy went into a deep underground cave, and none of it even stopped, just a little bit. Messenger of the Cross says, "This is so hardcore, bro. This is what they're doing. It's EMF. All major cities under this. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just a big soup, and it's an infrastructure creating this soup. And with this infrastructure, and there's many things in this infrastructure that they can target at us, at individuals, you know, where you're tethered to this energy. They tether you to this energy, the surveillance and the directed the surveillance, like material surveillance or surface surveillance, but then, you know, remote neural monitoring too. You know, how many people are tethered to this? We're getting an extreme version of it, but how many people who don't even know are just tethered to remote neural monitoring, and they're just using this infrastructure and pulling in more and more and more and more people, you know? Lion and the Lamb says, all those birds that dropped dead were in front of the building I lived in Draper, Utah. They were probably in my line of fire. Yeah, and think about this. Think about how many bees, right? Bees are just dying, like um, groups of bees are just dying off. A lot of animals. In the way that bees communicate, guess how bees communicate? With electromagnetic frequencies. Bees communicate with electromagnetic frequencies. So imagine if there's this electromagnetic frequency pollution all in the air, and it's just flooding the bees. The bees are dying because of that, and probably in birds too, stuff like that. Yeah, Stacy says, and turn the community's housing into Faraday cages. Yeah, 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 that'd be nice. I'm still, you know, my defenses are working pretty well, and the attenuation's working pretty well, but my attackers are still getting some stuff through and hitting me. You know, they're still trying to hit me with stuff all the time. So I'm thinking like in the future, maybe, you know, getting a better Faraday cage, you know, that would be just not lumps of aluminum, but something that I can actually build and I could move around, and it wouldn't be that messy, you know. Man, I hate these things. I don't know. I keep saying it, but like I found some stuff where it's like, man, this is kind of horrible sometimes, but it's doable, you know. But a lot of people, it's not. It's like just every second of the day is horror, and I've been there for years. But you know, it just doesn't see. I guess when you're in that much pain, you're just like, there's none of these little things like Dave Case's CD, or you know, the noise canceling hearing aid, or the grounding, or this or that could ever work, because it feels so strong. So it's like you've got to, you know, try those things and add them. And I mean, I'm not lying to you guys. I guess some of the stuff does cost money though. Native 321 says, yes, Katie, that is what I'm experiencing too, due coming from aerial vehicles such as military style drones, predator drones, helicopter jets, etc. Yeah, those things are used, but there's a grid. Like, so they do use drones and aerial vehicles, but there's an infrastructure. Like there's microwave towers, over the horizon radars, ground radars, and then the satellite can route a signal through microwave towers or 5G. So there's this whole infrastructure built in America and other countries where, you know, they wouldn't just need to use one thing. But yeah, I mean, you know what you're experiencing. And yeah, they do use drones. So that's definitely true. Katie says, let them know they're not going to insult your intelligence nor defame your character. Only government can purchase 80,000 equipment. So LH-M SD call HS. I hit 2 and 8. Mm-hmm. Messenger Across says, to get a breakdown of the radar type on YouTube, psychotronic warfare against Americans, EM manipulation of the human being on YouTube. She covers the radar. Okay. What channel, Messenger of the Cross? Okay. Yeah, Jeff O says, native, I fully believe in more drone activity than is usually discussed. Yeah. Stacy says, that drunk ninja. I was thinking about those the other day and I couldn't remember the name. Grow Tents, thanks. So Native says Athena weapon. Yes, Katie, and also look up HEL weapon and Law's weapon, but instead of on a Marine ship, this is put on military style drones, probably technology info that hasn't been released to the public. Yeah, somebody else was telling me about the Law weapon. So let's look that up. Let's look that up, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. Yeah, because I've been going for about 2 hours, so I'll look that up real quick, and we'll close this out. Let's see, go to this. Maybe we'll find a bunch of stuff on weaponized drones, but I can't find anything on the Law weapon. Somebody else was talking to me about that too. Can't find any articles on it. But it does say in this, like I'll share my screen with y'all and we'll kind of look through them. Let's see. So the law also prohibits the possession or operation of a weaponized UAS. One offense, a sex offender unmanned aerial vehicle offense, occurs when a sex offender uses a UAV to follow, contact, or capture images or recordings of someone, and the sex offender is subject to conditions that prohibit them from doing so. Current unmanned aircraft state law landscape. FAA weaponized drones are illegal. FAA weaponized drones are illegal. Does that mean just for citizens, or are they actually illegal for these agencies that are using drones to target us and torture us? Let's read it. Big camera right there. The cost of consumer drones, so they're just talking about consumer drones, has come down considerably in the past few years. And some owners have fancied the idea of outfitting their unmanned vehicles with weapons. Some recent videos have surfaced showing people doing just that. Well, the Federal Aviation Administration is here to remind everyone that, no, you can't equip a drone with weapons. It's highly illegal, and the FAA is authorized to slap people with hefty fines. Well, that's just talking about consumers. That's just talking about consumers. That's not talking about these agencies, because they have many, many weaponized drones over American soil. Current unmanned aircraft state law landscape. It's just talking about other stuff. It's not talking about what, like, the kind of drones they're using to actually attack us. Let's see. Let's go to, let's see, directed energy. Energy drones. Raytheon directed energy weapons down drones and Air Force demonstration. It's not talking about the drone. I guess I'm going to have to look up some of that. I'll look up drones with the Law weapon system on them. You know, maybe do a video on that, because a lot of people are talking about that. But there's a huge infrastructure that they use to target us. I mean, you think about how a cell phone gets a signal and you can go anywhere, and there's this infrastructure built where a wireless signal can go to that cell phone anywhere it is. So they have that in place. If they had to just target us just with drones, they would have to have those drones in your area all the time. And if you left, they would have to have another drone in the other, which I'm not saying they don't hit with drones. I think it's a supplemental stopgap thing. It's a stopgap. If they can't hit you with the infrastructure, there's a weak signal, then they would use the drone to close that gap of your attacks. But I don't know, a lot of people like Native and a lot of people say it's just drones and aerial vehicles. So, you know, in different protocols, they may have a protocol where they're like, well, we're just going to hit this target with just drones and aerial vehicles. I guess, I mean, that can happen. I don't know every protocol, you know. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I really appreciate y'all coming, and we'll do more live streams and stuff like that. I just didn't know what was going, because like Friday, like Wednesday night, Next didn't have any a panel, and then Friday night he didn't, and I was like, today I got in touch with him, and so I don't know when he's going to be set up again to do panels. So we'll just try and do some stuff. You know, when we'll just do whatever. You know. Hey, Stacy says, night, Kyle. Thank you, Stacy. I'll talk to you soon. I love you guys. Yeah, I'll look up some of that stuff about. I'll look up some more stuff about the drones, because a lot of you guys seem interested in that, and I'll get some articles and stuff like that. Love you too, brother. Love you too, Jeff. But all right, guys. I'm gonna close it out. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I hope y'all got something out of this, and we can do that. People get in touch with me, and then we can do something like Cory, where we just hang out for an hour or two, and talk about what you want to talk about. You know, talk about what your focus is, the angle that you think is the most important for other targeted individuals to know about. So we can definitely do that. You know, we can definitely set some stuff like that up. Just it's very, very easy. You know, he was doing the you know, he was doing it off of his cell phone, you know. And hey, PA, good night, PA, man. Thanks for coming. I'll call you soon, man. I'll call you soon and we can talk. All right, that drunk ninja. All right, y'all have a good night. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I love you guys. Just stay strong. Keep talking about this stuff. Keep building up our defenses. Keep talking to doctors and authority figures until there's a break in this, until something big happens. You know, we'll keep going. And let me end with a prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In the name of Jesus Christ, dear Lord, please protect every targeted individual in the chat room or watching this video, just every targeted individual in the world, and everybody suffering any tyranny. Please protect them. Put a hedge of protection around them. Send angels and give them miracles. Please put things in targeted individuals' past that can attenuate and reduce these attacks. And please just bring this to the attention of any good people that are in positions of power so that this can end as soon as possible. Please just give us strength, give us peace, give us courage, give us miracles, just give us the peace that surpasses all understanding. Help us to keep going and help us to keep finding those things in life, those happy things, those happy moments, those good moments, good humanity and good humans to fight all this darkness. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ, guys. All right, guys, I love y'all, and I will see you on the next one. Y'all take care, okay?